Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Lisa Elvin Stoltari, and I am a genealogist and a passionate traveler. Over the last 4 years, I've been focusing my attention on les filles du roi and later les filles mariées. We are now on episode, I believe, 132 of Les Filles Mariées. Just an incredible, incredible amount of stories we've been able to tell. So stay with me as we continue this until we have exhausted every single fille mariée. Until then, let's have a look at ways you can support the channel. The first three keep you in the know. Subscribe, easy to do and absolutely free. Like is for each video that you watch. Anytime that you can put a like on something, you're helping it get out there in the stratosphere. And I've noticed many of you have been doing that like, and it is making a difference. So I really, really appreciate it. And notify so that you get notified every time I post new content. The next three ways are ways to help the channel grow. We have a YouTube membership now, and it starts at 99 cents and goes all the way to $24.99 depending on what levels you want. Each one has perks, but all members get early access to all my videos and do not have to wait until they air publicly. And then we also have on my website a PayPal button that a lot of people use as well. And we also have the super thanks that is a great way to show that you really like a particular video. So I appreciate your support, and I'm ever so grateful for all of you who have participated so far. And with that being said, let's get to know our fille mariée of this episode. Today's episode, Les Filles Mariées, episode 132, Suzanne Jarel, and she comes to us from a viewer request. I did not have her in my files, but I have been seeing her crop up in some of my genealogical research for clients. So I was very fascinated by Suzanne. Let's have a look at her life. She was born in 1639 in Saint-Martin-de-Ré, and it is the principal town on the island of Ré, an island off the Atlantic coast of France near La Rochelle. Originally, it was a modest fishing village, and it gained prominence in the 17th century when Louis XIV ordered a famous military engineer, Vauban, to fortify the port as part of France's coastal defense system. The resulting star-shaped citadel and surrounding ramparts, completed in 1680, remain one of the most remarkable examples of Vauban's military architecture and is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. In the 17th and 18th centuries, the town was also a point of departure for prisoners sent to French penal colonies, particularly to French Guinea. Its fortified harbor played a strategic role in France's maritime activities, and it remained a key outpost for both defense and trade. So it was really this little tiny place, pretty important. Today, Saint-Martin-de-Ré is known for its well-preserved historical center, its cobbled streets, a marina, and of course, the beautiful Church of Saint-Martin, which was partially destroyed during the Wars of Religion and rebuilt in the 17th century. So today, you can see the bridge that connects the place. It was built in 1987, connecting it to the mainland. As you can imagine, it's a major tourist attraction, and it's definitely an island I would love to see. Suzanne would arrive in 1662. Although we do not know this for sure, we do know that based on her marriage, which occurred in June of 1663, she couldn't have come earlier than, she couldn't have come in 1663, so 1662 was really her time. And in a sense, she was almost the very last fille mariée before the official program of Les Filles du Roi began. The groom that she would select and who selected her, his name, François Dupont, and he was born in 1637 in Saint-Quentin in France. His parents were Nicolas Dupont and Jeanne Lemaire. Now, Saint-Quentin is found in the Hauts-de-France region, and then Aisne is the department that it is found in. It has really got deep historical roots that date back to the Roman era. And it was named actually after a 3rd century Roman missionary called Saint Quentin, and he was a martyr whose tomb became a place of pilgrimage. During the medieval period, the town flourished both as a religious center and an important hub of the textile industry. Now, one of the notable churches that I believe François was baptized in was the Église Saint-Thomas. It appears that there's a part of it that is remaining, but I have yet to find a picture of it. So any of you out there who have a picture of the Église Saint-Thomas in this region, please let me know if you can find it, and let me know. And now the Basilique de Saint-Quentin is absolutely magnificent and absolutely something you need to see. And this is just a picture of the town square that I thought was really charming as well. So this is where François would have come from. Now, François would be very much in demand as a carpenter, and he was confirmed in Quebec in February of 1660, indicating that he was probably there from 1657 on. These two find each other, and they are married at Château Richer on June 7, 1663. François and Suzanne would settle at Ile d'Orléans, where so many French Canadians have their origins. It's located right off the 20 minutes from Quebec City, about 3 miles east. Island was really one of the very first parts of the province to be colonized by the French. And you can see the beauty of it. You can see why they were so attracted to these really fertile lands. And yes, the winters were harsh, but the summers were absolutely beautiful. And early French settlers were really coming here to kind of experience kind of a little bit of France. And the area has truly maintained that level of homogeny, if you will, and you really feel the French culture. When I visited for the first time in 2023, I was blown away, absolutely. And I lived in Quebec for 30 plus years. I never got the chance to go to Ile d'Orléans, and when I finally did, it took my breath away. And I wish that I could have been there with my mother, whose ancestry I honored on that trip. And you can see on the map in the middle here how Ile d'Orléans is located, is subdivided into 6 different parts. And make no mistake, you have to allocate enough time. I did not, so I'm speaking from experience. Sainte-Pétronille, as you come on the island, then you have Saint-Pierre, and then followed by Sainte-Famille. That's the oldest parish. That's where people had first come. That's where the first church is. And then they would begin to branch out. So knowing that and where your family branched out will help you in your research. Saint-François, Saint-Jean, or Saint-Laurent, all of these have their own churches, their own parishes, and their own records. So you need to, certainly after 1679, I believe, or 89, I can't remember the exact date, but toward about 20 years after Saint-Famille was established, that's when you're going to see these divisions and the growth of different parishes. Absolutely important to know. Another thing to note, it wasn't always called Ile d'Orléans. Was known on some levels as Grande Ile, Sainte-Marie, and Saint-Laurent in the 17th and 18th centuries. It actually got its name because the King Francis I, who was king at that time, his son Henry II, was actually the Duke of Orléans in France. And so then they called it, in honor of him, the Ile d'Orléans. And so that is kind of its little pedigree, if you will. In the 1666 census, we have François and Suzanne, newly married with their son François, 2 years of age. In the 1667 census, François is there, Suzanne, and François is there, now 4 years old, according to the census taker. Jean-Baptiste is 4 months old. They have 1 tête à bétail, that's probably 1 cow, and 9 arpents valaires, about 7.6 acres of land that would be equivalent to. They would go on to have 9 children. François would marry Marguerite Rousseau and would have 7 children, 1 who would reach adulthood before François' early death at 38. Marguerite's mother was Marguerite Binaudière, a fille du roi whom he profiled in episode 236, and I've got the link in the notes for you. Jacquette would die before the 1666 census. Jean-Baptiste would marry Marie de Blois and would have 3 children, 2 of whom made it to adulthood. Marie's mother was Françoise Vigy, a fille mariée who we have not yet profiled. Robert would die before the 1681 census. Jacques would also pass away before the 1681 census. Catherine would pass away at the age of 15. And unfortunately, Françoise would die at 13. They died within about a month of each other, so there was probably an epidemic going on at that time. Louis married Jeanne Parisi and would have 10 children, 3 of whom made it to adulthood. And finally, Marie-Madeleine married Germain de Blois and would have 10 children, 7 of whom made it to adulthood. And Germain's mother was indeed Françoise Vigy, who we have not yet profiled, a fille mariée. Now, in the 1681 census, we find François and Suzanne, their children François, Jean, Catherine, Françoise, Louis, and Marie. They have 2 cows, I believe, and 14 hectares valeur, which equals 11.8 acres of land. Suzanne would pass away at age 45. She and François would have been married 25 years, and she would leave us a legacy of 51 descendants as of 1729. François would not remarry, and he would live on for another 13 years, dying in 1700. The biography of François Dupont and Suzanne Jarel can be found in our French-Canadian ancestors. It is the book number 10. And I've posted the link for you to access the Facebook site if that's what you want to do, or you can try to find it at your local library or at a family resource center, or a lot of subscribers have been telling me that they're finding them on eBay. So give that a whirl. They're out of print, so they're really hard to find, but you can find them. So this will give you some very, very good information. And this is the marvelous monument that can be found at Saint-Famille Museum and all that. Remember when I told you I ran out of time? This is one of the reasons why I was exploring all the different things. And there you have François Dupont and Suzanne Jarel on that monument to the 300 founding families of Ile d'Orléans. Very important, and this is from a book. It tells you when he established himself at Saint-Famille. François was there first. He was there at 1660. That gives you kind of an insight into how important this family was to the development of Ile d'Orléans. So absolutely wonderful. Suzanne was a very special woman. She was a pioneer in Ile d'Orléans. She managed to have many children, although she had to experience tremendous loss. She left us a good amount of descendants, and she had a beautiful marriage with François. Truly a woman of substance and a woman who knew what she wanted. Although she left us too soon, we are so grateful that she came to our shores and she was able to contribute to the tapestry that is New France and ultimately North America. So thank you, Suzanne. And I want to say thank you to my patrons, supporters, and subscribers. You are just amazing. Thank you so much for everything you do. Couldn't do this without you. I probably would have given up by now. And I'm so grateful that many of you have been with me since almost the very beginning. So thank you so much for your continued support. I really appreciate it. So with that being said, I will see you on the next episode of Les Filles Mariées. Until then, au revoir.